During quarantine, I really discovered a sense of contentment, which I really struggle with. Kind of always a grass is greener on the other side type of personality, but I felt like I finally achieved like a sense of contentment and peace and just like an overwhelming peace. And I think with all of the abnormal, with the whole abnormal reality, like I think in my heart was just cultivated a really huge longing for heaven. And so I feel like I'm in this like transitionary phase, kind of like not in real life and just kind of floating. And I feel like it's really created in me a longing for heaven. And I love that. And now I've been including that more in my prayers of just like asking the Lord to bring heaven to earth. And so that's been really sweet and special.
Hi, I'm Carissa and I go to COTC. And one thing that I have gleaned from this time of quarantine is the ability of God to restore. And sometimes things need to be slowed down in order for that to happen. So my sister and I, who also is a newbie to COTC, have really just experienced the restoration of our family in many ways. Her and my relationship, we had 3 months together in a studio apartment. Y'all are cringing right now, but we needed that to just get to know each other again. She's been away for schooling for 10 years, so she came back and we really got to reinvest in our relationship. And also, after a lot of prayer and a lot of just dedication to speaking to God about our father, he decided to come back to our family after my parents were separated for the second time. So this is the second time he's come back. He's come back with a softened heart. And we're really excited for just kind of the restoration that hopefully will ensue. Keep your spirits up and just remember there's so much to learn from different times, and cheers.
Hi everyone, this is Andrew joining you from the Upper West Side in Harlem. And I wanted to share how Jesus encountered me during quarantine. In the beginning of quarantine, I had this peace about everything that many of my non-believer friends did not have. And there was a lot of panic, but something in the back of my mind was reminding me of how good God uses times like these to restore and renew all things. And that's what allowed me to share the peace that I had with others. And I think along with this peace, Jesus also brought into clarity some of the different temptations and struggles that I've faced, and for quite a long time. And I think he used this opportunity to heal me through a new community group and some of the different folks in the church. And it became clear that I needed a community group to live out my life in a godly way, where I would be continually reminded of that I am the Son of God, and that nothing can take that identity away from me. I think how I've changed as a disciple since March. And I think it's been having seen my faith and prayers tested more so than any other time in my life before. I think there were many times when I did not know how I'd be able to pay for food or for rent, and every time God provided a way out when there was no way out, and seemingly at that time. And I think that's what allowed me to grow stronger in my faith through those moments, knowing that God really does care for me, even in times of crises. And I think another big area of growth in me has been recognizing some of the behold moments that we can find ourselves in, where we're more prone to spiritual warfare. And I just realized how much harder it can be to resist certain temptations or desires when your mind is preoccupied, if you're hungry or bored or lonely. And that's been helpful to just be aware and to resolve those before those situations get out of hand. So, God is good, and he's working in us to restore and renew all things in this time of quarantine.
Hi, my name is Deborah, and I live in Queens. The past 4 months have been really challenging, but they've also been a time of a lot of growth and just learning. I had times where I was feeling very lonely, and it reminded me of when I moved around a lot when I was growing up, and I would always have to introduce myself to a new group of people, a new group of friends every year when I was moving from country to country. And I remember that was lonely too, but what came out of that was more intimacy with Jesus, because I realized that Jesus was my best friend that would go with me no matter if I was living in Belgium or Germany or New York. And so while I couldn't meet up with anyone physically in the past few months, I could meet up with Jesus anytime. And his arms were always open. And he always had something to share with me, to say. And he was always interested in what was going on in my life. And he's a very good listener.
My name is Cindy Reed. I have been unemployed because I work at a gym, so I'm going back to work next week, so luckily I have my job back. But I have been dancing a lot. I'm a dancer, so God has actually provided a way for me now to dance every day, because I wasn't as committed. Even though I did have like mornings before I would go to work in the afternoon, I didn't always dance. And when I dance, it's also for the Lord. So when I dance, it's honoring God. So I feel more connected because I'm dancing for God.